enable children to grow into capable, confident, and compassionate individuals, contributing positively to our society. In northeastern Nigeria, for example, ensuring child's rights is particularly very challenging due to insurgency, displacement, poverty, and certain cultural beliefs. Compared to other regions in Nigeria, many children lack access to quality education, making them vulnerable to violence, exploitation, and abuse. Additionally, malnutrition, disease, and limited healthcare services exhibit their plight. To address this, the government, as a matter of urgency, will not just enact but enforce laws protecting children's rights, improve education, healthcare, and security. Permit me to add that NGOs and community-based organizations must include in their programs activities that promote child's protection initiatives. Religious leaders also have a crucial role in advocating for child's rights without compromise. Listen, children's rights are human rights and are non-negotiable. Every child deserves protection, care, and support to strive. Remember, and finally, every child deserves a childhood. Thank you. My name is Oluwashola.
Ciao a tutti, sono Daniele Coccia da Roma, Italia. Sono un filmmaker e presento un video dal titolo Vincent e le stelle. Il video racconta in maniera fantasiosa un frammento di vita del pittore Vincent van Gogh, della sua pazzia e del suo isolamento sociale. Ma siamo così sicuri che il pazzo fosse proprio lui? È un grande onore per me essere parte di TARIFF, un festival che unisce filmmakers da tutto il mondo. In questo momento storico credo che il cinema sia un importantissimo strumento di espressione e di unione tra i popoli. Noi europei viviamo un momento di grande fragilità e parlare di diritti umani non è mai stato forse così importante. Festival come TARIFF ci aiutano a guardare il mondo attraverso lo sguardo autentico e indipendente dei filmmakers. Sono disponibile a partecipare al podcast in caso di selezione. Grazie ancora dal profondo del cuore e insieme possiamo fare una grande differenza. Hello everyone, ciao a tutti, sono Daniele Coccia da Roma, Italia. Sono un filmmaker e presento un video dal titolo Vincent e le stelle. Il video racconta in maniera fantasiosa.
سينمائية من الجزائر. شاركت في مهرجان ترابا هيومن رايت فيلم فيستيفال بفيلمي الوثائقي الطويل أكناو. هذا الفيلم يتناول الذاكرة والهوية من خلال تقاليد القناوة. كذلك يسعدني كوني سأكون ضيفة في بودكاست تحريف Creators Unplugged الذي يتيح للمبدعين فرصة لمشاركة تجاربهم وأفكارهم.
Yes, good evening, Nigeria. Welcome to Some TV Hangout with journalists, where the facts are fresh, the debates are fresh, and the questions come hotter than jollof rice at a Yoruba wedding. And as veteran journalist Dele Giwa said, truth is like fire. No matter how much you try to quench it, it will always rise. And this evening, we're here to fan those flames of truth. That is not trouble. We're here to fan the flames of truth. My name is Abraham Mainajoda, the truth finder. But before we dive into the headlines rocking the nation, a quick reminder: Taraba State isn't just a place on the map. It is nature's gift to the nation. From fertile farmlands to untapped mineral resources, Taraba is ripe for smart investors. So if you're looking to put your money where growth lives and nature thrives, Taraba is calling. Now let us look at the menu for today's hangout. A new shepherd in Rome. The world has witnessed the election of a new pope. What does this mean for the global Catholicism and religious diplomacy. Another issue we're going to look at today is Senate President Godwin Akpabio says he is not going anywhere despite swirling false allegations. Is this a storm in a teacup or what it is? Then we also going to look at what the defense headquarters are. The claims that the recent bloodshed in Benue and Plateau was orchestrated by foreign leaders. But who are these actors? And what does this mean for national security and Nigeria's porous borders? So stay with us as we dig into the truth, challenge the narratives, and maybe even ruffle a few feathers. After all, journalism is a spectator sport. Spectator sport is a contact sport. And I know you've been hearing me saying we, and I'm the only one being shown on TV. So with me this evening to discuss, please let's welcome our esteemed guest, a brilliant and beautiful journalist known for incisive reporting and captivating storytelling. We are thrilled to have Asha insight and expertise with us today. And with me is no other person than Mercy Joel. Good evening, Mercy.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, Nigeria.
Yeah, thank you. You're welcome to the Journalist Hangout today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the privilege to come here.
And thank you for the privilege of we having you on the show.
Yes, sir.
Before we go on, I just want to ask, am I the only one expecting rainfall? There have been signs of rainfalls and I don't know if it is the breeze or what, the winds will blow them away. Are you also expecting rainfall?
Truly I am. Honestly, I am. I am tired of the heat. You know, it's like what the children will say, hide and seek. The rain is playing hide and seek with us.
Well, we all pray for the rains, and it seems the weather in around Jalingo has changed again this evening. Let's pray that it's a rainy, not now, maybe a rainy night.
Late, exactly.
And I remember when we were young, there's this funny statement that children make when they see a trailer, a truck passing with people, with a lot of people on it, you know, the trucks, and they will say outside, like cow run summer, may God bring rain. And there's these abusive words that those people usually respond with. So today, if I see any truck going by, I will scream, Ale cow run summer, God should bring rain.
Amen to that.
Okay, yes. Well, let us go to the story for today. We are looking at a lot of issues that has to do with let's start with the world politics. And for our viewers later in the day, we will have you calling into the program, and we want it to be as interactive as possible. So we're going to look at what we discuss here, and you can chip in your own opinion. But let us just give you background to the stories first. We're starting with the Pope, the election of a new Pope. He was born Robert Francis Prevost on September 14, 1955 in Chicago, Illinois. He's of diverse heritage, French, Italian, and Spanish roots. He served as missionary, parish priest, and seminary professor in Peru. Now let us look at the historical fact. He's the first American-born Pope. He's first from the Order of St. Augustine, and first pontiff with dual U.S. and Peruvian citizenship. And about his education, he has a degree in mathematics from Villanova University in 1977, degree in theology from Catholic Theological Union, Chicago, a doctorate in canon law from Pontifical University of St. Thomas Aquinas, Rome. Then let us look at his theological orientation. He's moderate and bridge builder. He opposes traditional teachings, emphasizes compassionate pastoral outreach. And also, let us look at the challenges ahead of him. Church unity and division, sexual abuses, crisis and safeguarding policies, financial reforms and transparency, global diplomacy, and complex international relations. And what are the global impacts? Potential influence on global political discourse, leadership and human rights, climate change and social justice, and then the opportunity to reassert the church moral authority worldwide. That is the new Pope we just spoke about there. That is Pope. He is of the name Francis Prevost, and is now Pope. Pope. What is it again? Sorry for that. It's Pope Leo the 14th. Pope Leo the 14th. So, what's your view on Pope Leo the 14th?
Well, the Catholics, I'm not Catholic though, but
okay.
The Catholic, I'm really happy and excited for them to have a new leader with one with a vision to push the word, the wisdom he has. I saw something on the internet that somebody said he did not only study the mathematics, he would study sin also. Yes. So for that, when I saw that, I was like, okay, this is somebody that would go deep and try to eradicate any, things that is not in line with the Catholic beliefs and the rules, both humanitarian aspects and their laws also. Yes, going further to the challenges that he had faced, the sexual abuse, there in the United States and the world worldwide, recently we're having the LGBTQ fighters and the rest. So the world now is waiting to see how they would be able, or how he would be able to handle, handle that situation of same-sex marriages, both is it the gay and the lesbian. We want to see how he will be able to handle it in church, because now there's this believe that the Pope now, I think it should be the previous late Pope, that
Pope Francis.
His beliefs were like he believes in oneness and he was joining both sex marriages in church and all. But this one now, people that are not in support in what is happening in the church would now wait to see what his decisions will be, what his decisions in handling such cases as well. So, well, I'm excited, and I'm also hoping to see that, because Christianity and the rest, we identify one man, one woman. So we are let me not go for deeper before they come for me.
Well, no, but as far as I'm concerned, as a Nigerian, under the laws of this country, it is a man and
a woman.
It is a union. Marriage is a union between a man and a woman.
Yes.
So I can disobey the law of the land, and also, if I understand my religious belief very well, marriage is between a man and a woman. I don't know where the other beliefs comes from. But before we go on, I think us listen to the first message of the Pope. So maybe the technical crew can give us the video of the Pope's first address to the world.
La pace sia con tutti voi.
Peace be with you all.
Fratelli, sorelle carissimi.
Dearest brothers and sisters,
Questo è il primo saluto del Cristo risorto.
this is the first greetings of the resurrected Christ, the Good Shepherd who has given up his life for God. And I should also like this greeting of peace to enter our hearts and your families, and to all those people, wherever they are, all peoples throughout the world. Peace be with you.
Questa è la pace di Cristo risorto.
This is the peace of the resurrected Christ,
Una pace disarmante, umile e
a
perseverante.
humble and perseverant peace which comes from God, God who loves us all
Incondizionalmente.
unconditionally.
Ancora conserviamo nei nostri orecchi
Let
quella
us
voce
keep
debole, ma
in our
sempre
ears
coraggiosa di
the
Papa Francesco,
weak voice
che benediva
of
Roma.
Pope Francis that blesses Rome. The Pope, who blessed Rome, gave his blessing to the world, to the entire world, that morning of Easter. Allow me to follow up on that blessing. God loves us. God loves everyone. Evil will not prevail. We are all in the hands of God. Therefore, without fear, united, hand in hand with God and amongst ourselves, let us go forward. We are the disciples of Christ. Christ goes before us. The world needs his light. Humanity needs him like the bridge to God and his love. Help us and all others to build bridges with dialogue, with meeting, to be one common people, living always in peace. Thank you to Pope Francis. I should also like to thank all my cardinal brethren who have chosen me to be the successor of Peter and to walk with you as a united church, always seeking peace and justice, seeking to work with men and women who are faithful to Jesus Christ, without fear, to proclaim the gospel, to be missionaries.
Sono un figlio di Sant'Agostino.
I am a son of St. Augustine, Augustinian.
Che ha detto,
Augustine, who said,
con voi sono cristiano e per
with
voi
you I am a
vescovo.
Christian,
In
and
questo
for you
senso
a
possiamo
bishop.
tutti
And I think in that
camminare
sense we
insieme
can all walk
verso
together
quella
to
patria
that
il quale,
homeland,
la quale Dio ci ha
that home
preparato.
which God has prepared for us.
Alla Chiesa
To the Church
di
of Rome,
un saluto
a very
speciale.
special greeting.
Dobbiamo cercare insieme come essere una
We
Chiesa
have to
missionaria,
seek together to be a missionary church, a church that builds bridges and dialogue, always ready to accept, like this great piazza with its arms. We have to show our charity, presence, and be in dialogue with love.
Annuncio vobis gaudium magnum. Habemus papam.
And one of the things that I picked there was, he said he is taking the office of Peter, Apostle Peter. So because the belief of the Catholic that the first pope is Apostle Peter, who was the leader of the disciples. So it is a very, very, it's a position that is very, very revered. For you to take to holding the position that Apostle Peter held in the past. So a lot of expectations from them. Do you, what will be your expectations for this new pope?
Yes, just like the way they say, to who much is given, much is expected. So I expect him to, handle the situation that has already been existing in the Catholic. you know, all those sexual harassment or molestations. You know, there are a lot of people, you know, if you ask anybody randomly, okay, what do you think is happening in the Catholic, they'll tell you, oh, this pope is this bishop, or this one is assaulting this one. So I want him to go to the root of that problem. Do you understand? Go deeper, investigate, try and find out, and also change the narrative that people already have on about Catholics. You know, I think there was a movie like that. I don't know if it was banned. There was a movie a few years ago where it was revealing how the rate of molestation was high amongst these Catholics and these bishops. Sorry, this bishop, because they feel like, oh, because they've dedicated themselves to Christ, so the only thing they should do is probably molest those younger guys. Exactly. So you see, if I had it, if look at me as a person now having this belief, I wonder what other people outside too would would have that.
Yeah. Well, there have been a lot of stories coming out of abuses of younger people within the church, and I think this is just one of the things that we expect you to look at. And there are some other issues, the church unity, healing divisions between conservative and progressive, especially in the U.S. church, in U.S. Peruvian. There's this division, and then also we also look at the issue of the views on LGBTQ. He has to uphold the Catholic teaching on marriage between a man and woman. Exactly. How does he balance this thing? Then there's also this pastoral sensitivity, which concerning that issue. So I believe that would be some of the major things that people the world. And I'm telling you, this time around, the world has evolved to a stage whereby there's going to be a sharp divide. You know, in the past, when issues like this have been discussed, like the LGBTQ, even those for it will be silent. But now it seems they are more vocal than this thing. So to manage that situation will be one of the things I personally will be used to John. But I know he holds a very, very high and highly revered position. And he is a man that over the years, just on Easter Monday, I interviewed a reverend father, and I could feel I could feel it in him that this is a very, very intelligent and well-trained individual, very, very rounded. So if a reverend father at that, and as to believe he should be in his late 20s or early 30s, can be that rounded and intelligent. Now look at someone that has gone this far. So the world expects a lot. The Pope is the leader of Christians, the leader of people across the world. Yes, you could even see with the crowds. With the crowd. Yes. So yes, we pray for Pope Leo XIV that his reign should be peaceful. His reign should restore the Spirit of God in Christendom, not only in Catholic, among Christians all over the world. Let me share a funny thing with you. Do you know that while I was young, I grew up to know Pope John Paul II. So my idea was that was God. So whenever I see his picture, when I was young, I thought that was the picture of God. Because probably maybe the first person that spoke about the Pope maybe said he's the head of... so that was my idea of who God until I grew up wiser. So and I'm sure a lot of people... A lot. You could see how emotional the atmosphere was there. You know, Catholic, Reverend sisters, people from different nationalities and backgrounds with ideologies gathered together. You know, it's beautiful to actually see that the way they reference the man. It's a good one. Okay, thank you. I think we've taken enough from that, that story. Now we are going to move into another story. We are going to look at the issue of the elders as a farmer conflict in Nigeria, and we're going to focus on the recent clashes in Benue and Plateau. And recently, the Defense Headquarters sent out a message that those elders are foreigners and not Nigerians. So we begin to wonder. But before we go, let me just give a little background and information on the conflict between the nomadic elders and the local farming communities in Benue and Plateau State. has led to thousands of deaths, displacement, and destruction of property. Some of the root causes resource scarcity due to desertification and shrinking grazing land, climate change, ethnic and religious dimensions, governance gap, weak security presence, and impunity for perpetrators. Then if you look at the timeline for major events, major incidents, Benue attack in 2018, 2021, 2024, with villages raised and IDP increased. In Plateau, attacks in 2020, 2010, 2023, including the 2023 Christmas Eve massacre and Bokos. Maybe you can give us some of the humanitarian impact on this thing, and also government and community responses.
We had tens of thousands displaced into the IDP camps, destructions of farm, worsening food insecurity, breakdown of social cohesion and economic life in rural areas. So then the government and community responses, that's in Benue State, anti-grazing law in 2017, promoting ranching. And then also in Plateau State, we have the Peace Committee, Community Dialogue Initiative, and military intervention. And then the federal government deployment of security forces, but rest often reactive and perceived as slow and inadequate. Yes, so
what about the challenges and the resolution?
Yes, the challenges and resolution, that's lack of consistent enforcement of laws, political manipulation of the conflicts, proliferation of arms and emergence of militaries, and then also the failure to implement long-term solutions like ranching.
Yeah. So if you look at these challenges to the resolutions, I think there's a lot to be said here. Look at the lack of consistent enforcement of laws.
Yes.
We see that today there's a ban on grazing.
Yes.
Tomorrow it is uplifted. There's a ban on this. That's it.
I think I've been following this Plateau crisis for a very long time. My memory could serve me right. There was a time, I don't know, it was 2009 or so around. This Plateau crisis did not just start. Yeah. It started, it's like a virus that has spread around the body. Yes. And this open grazing law, when it came, when they brought the whole idea, it was very good, yes, welcoming idea, giving the herders an opportunity to go and graze in another land, leaving the other ones for farmers to, plant and harvest their produce. But this, there was no an enforcement to the implementation of this law. Today, this law is being initiated. Let's say the idea was brought, but the enforcement to actually implement this law was lacking. And that was why these headers had the authority to even come and, attack these people. Yes,
and we've even seen situations where someone will come up and say nobody can stop them from this open grazing. And we have the
audacity.
That is what
the audacity, and this issue had been there even when Lalong was on power, the former governor of Plateau State. It was like they were just, I don't know if it was a lackadaisical attitude towards handling the issue. They were just cold towards it. Before Benue crisis started, I think it was even Plateau crisis that started before Benue. Now imagine if they had handled that situation in Plateau State, it wouldn't have escalated to Benue. It wouldn't have even gotten to Benue State.
That is why we talk about the political manipulation of the conflict.
Yes.
There are a lot of political intonations into this. There is more to it than meets the eye.
Yes.
Because you see, due to some political issues, some of the solutions, some people say, politically, if I take this solution, it's going to affect me. And that is why we're not getting to the end of this matter.
And also security responses. There are cases whereby even the media, I appreciate the media for interviewing some of these the victims and all. There are cases whereby when the attack is being done, they would say, before the security personnel come to their rescue, the attack has been done. People have lost their life, properties have been lost. So the swift response of political military personnel is really down. It's really low.
That is why they say the responses are often reactive.
Yes.
Are perceived as slow. When you react, they are meant to be proactive.
Yes.
But we give the military.
Place this military personnel in strategic places, areas that that they are bound or bound to be affected.
And like me, I always feel that the solution to this is not even to wait for them, is to go after them before they come. Go and attack them in their bases.
Yes.
Wherever it is that they are, push them out of this place, annihilate them, because they are terrorists as far as I'm concerned. So there's a need for recently the federal government, the executive and the legislature, they've been having, the legislature said they should be summit on is a security summit meeting, while the executive said that what they need is more arms, and I think both will serve. What Nigeria needs is results.
You know, I think I don't know if it's the present governor of Zamfara State. When Zamfara State, one of the local governments was attacked, he said something that I really, really loved. He said that these headers, he knows them to their houses.
Yeah, there was a time.
Yeah, there was a time he said to their houses, meaning they already know who these headers are. Why are the military calm? Why are arrests not made yet? Names are not being listed or revealed yet. If they know these people to their houses, go and pick them. Their parents or siblings speak, they will fetch her. They will come out.
The only issue I have with that is this. He made that statement. He's the chief security officer of the state.
Yes.
Why didn't he name names? And also go to the police. This is where they
is it that's where political interference comes in?
People make political statements. The question is that you, as a chief executive, you say you know where they are. You know their houses.
Yes.
Then it is your duty. You don't wait for the president. It is not the duty of the president in your own state. Take action and let Nigerians know that action was taken and someone somewhere will try to manipulate what you do. So there are a lot of political statements. So sometimes when I listen to these politicians point accusing fingers, I know that sometimes it is just what it is, but there's more to it than meets the eye.
The military, they have a lot to do. They have a lot on their plate, a lot to deliver to at least reveal things to us. Because who are giving these headers the ammunitions they are using? It's either today we hear, oh, the ammunitions they are using is more than the military. Can you imagine that?
You see,
who is funding them?
You see, the thing is, with these criminals, now they have a source of income from kidnapping.
Yes.
And most of them, we have those that are within. Then we have those that over the years, they've been migrating in and out. And if you look at the headers, they live a life of they live a borderless life.
Yes.
Whereby the borders don't restrict them. They don't have a permanent place to stay.
Exactly.
So over the years, they know how to manipulate their way around, in and out. Then there are people that have been involved in conflict in Burkina Faso, in Mali, in Libya, in Central African Republic. And they know where to get guns.
True.
So just imagine if they do a kidnapping and raise 100 million. What do they need? Instead of buying cows, they invest this 100 million into weapons. They know where to get those weapons. They know how to bring them in. When you invest 100 million into weapons, what do you have? You'll be able to do triple of what you've done before. And if you look at their lifestyle, if you look at them properly, you will find out that this is not as if these people take this money to go and enjoy themselves. No. They use the money to buy more weapons. So you see that they're using the money to buy more weapons.
What even baffles me was, I think it should be last year where they had the audacity to actually even do a TikTok video.
They do TikTok video every time. Not last year, every
why
time.
Can't we trace that video and get them in the bush there?
They do a lot of social media engagements. They are known. If you look at, there are some that we know. They do videos. They show you the money. They make this. So I think we need more technology to work on this, and we should be more frontal with our approach. We should go to wherever they are and take them out. Don't wait for them to come. We shouldn't be reactive. We should be proactive on this. And if you ask me, well, if you say the conflict requires a comprehensive approach, including political will, security reforms, inclusive dialogue, long-term investment in agriculture and pastoral systems, sustainable resolution, can address food security, inter-ethnic relations, and national stability concerns. These are just some of the things that we need that will help put an end to this ugly event that is happening. And it is not only limited to Benue, and it is all over
everywhere. It's spreading.
Stories of bandits, attacks, and the rest of it. And that's it. Well, before we go to the other stories, I would like the lines to be open, because I know this is a topic that people always find. So please, the numbers to call will be displayed on your TV screen, and so I will want you to please be civil in your discussions, and also ensure that you switch off your TV set, turn down the volume of your TV set if you want to comment. So, but before we go to the next segment and also the calling segment, let us go for a short break, and when we come back, Anga with Journalists continue on Sun TV.
Hello, colleagues. My name is Alexei Burnosenko. I'm from Warsaw, Poland. And yeah, in the industry, in cinema, I mostly play the role of actor, also actor and director in theater. And yeah, here I'm representing on the festival the beautiful documentary called The Forest. And the reason why I really desired to take part in this podcast and in the festival itself is because this documentary I'm representing is a part of my history, part that is like even my people never heard about in majority. And this is kind of result of investigation, result of research, result of great piece of work and art. And yeah, I really would like people of the world to know about it. I really want to share this information so people will learn on the mistakes of our past and never accept it in our future. Thank you very much. See you. Bye.
The Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Waste Management, on behalf of the ministry, wish to inform the general public that from now onward, and as part of our ongoing commitment to maintaining a clean and sustainable environment, the Ministry of Waste Management and Resource Innovations frowns at the way citizens of the state don't keep their immediate environment clean, dump waste indiscriminately, drainages and waterways, causing flooding. It is on this regard that I wish to communicate some significant changes and regulations that will take effect immediately. 1. Keep your immediate surrounding clean. Take responsibility of waste generated by you. Package your waste properly to be taken to certified dump sites. Avoid dumping waste in gutters and waterways. Participate in community cleanup initiatives. 2. The ministry have reintroduced sanitary inspectors who, together with enforcement team, will be deployed to conduct regular inspections throughout the state. They will assess compliance levels and provide guidance to those who may need assistance with proper waste disposal practices. Please cooperate with them. 3. Activities of private waste managers in the state have been banned forthwith until an appropriate operational permit are obtained from the Ministry of Waste Management and Resource Innovations. 4. Illegal dumping of waste by any private waste managers shall henceforth attract a fine of 350,000 naira only and their utility truck confiscated. 5. Illegal dumping of waste by an individual shall henceforth attract a fine of 150,000 naira only. 6. Cleanliness starts from your home. Be a part of the solution and not part of the pollution. If you can't clean up your surroundings, then don't make it dirty. 1. Who maintains cleanliness keep away diseases. Follow cleanliness to kill tomorrow diseases. Together, we can create a cleaner, greener, and healthier Taraba. Announcer, Philibus Daniel Adamu, Permanent Secretary. The Honorable
Yes, welcome back to Anger with Journalists on Sun TV. And just like I said earlier, this is where the facts are fresh, the debates are fresh, and the questions come hotter than jollof rice at a Yoruba wedding. Have you been to a Yoruba wedding? Well, you lived in Lagos.
Yes,
have you been to Yoruba? How hot is the jollof rice?
Oh, so spicy.
Well, I think I'm beginning to miss that weekend. Yes, the pepper rice and the rest of it. The mama put amala and ewedu. Ewa going. Yes, bread. And I think for those of you that don't know what is ewa going is mashed beans. It is the Togolese that makes this. Ewa going is mashed beans then we
so
stew on it, then you look for agege bread.
Hot baked bread.
Hot agege bread. And I can see the studio manager, Moses laughing, is also in Lagos brought up. So these are just some of the things that, yes, makes us Nigerians, the diversity.
Yes.
That is why today we can be talking about Yoruba Jollof, Yoruba wedding, while we're in the north here and we're salivating.
I'll tell you.
There's always something good about diversity.
It's beautiful.
It's
very beautiful, very rich.
Yeah, there's rich diversity. I'm telling you, if you look at a drink like kunu,
yes,
if you prepare kunu, I've seen a lot of people, my family members, those I know, when I give them kunu, this northern kunu, people begin to wonder, where have this drink been all this year? Very, very rich. I said people here don't know the value of kunu. It is when those have never tasted
yes.
it.
I remember when I went to Zaria, when I got admitted to Zaria and ABU Zaria, the first time I took fura, in Lagos we had it. Wow, yeah. I devoured on that.
No,
wow.
No. I told people, if you taste nunu,
yes,
well prepared, you won't buy yogurt again.
At all.
You will not care about yogurt again. This is fresh milk. Yes. That is the diversity of Nigeria, and that is what we're talking about. So that is why we have programs like this, like Anger with Journalists, where we try to talk about issues that has to do with the nation and to ensure that everything in Nigeria becomes better.
Yes,
because once upon a time, I could travel from Jalingo to just sleep over, move from. So I've gone overnight, stopped at Pambegua.
Yes,
I've traveled Soba. There was a time I had accident in Soba. These were places where by any time, Saminaka, any time of the day you go there without fear.
Peaceful, yes.
But nowadays I read the news. I'm shocked.
No, when they say you sleep with one eye closed, one eye open.
Okay, so that's just like I said, Mebram Maila Joda, and my guest today is a brilliant and beautiful journalist known for her incisive reporting and captivating storytelling. She's Mercy Joro, and I'm very sure you're already enjoying the insights. And before we go to the next story,
yes,
the lines are open. The numbers to call are 070-4919-8503. So you can call in. We've discussed about the election of a new pope, our views on what we expect, our expectations from him. We've also spoken about the Benue Plateau crisis, the Edda farmer clash, or whatever it is that it is being called, and how we can put an end to it. So now we are going to go into the story of the man in the eye of the storm.
Yes.
Uduak Akpabio. Recently made a statement. He just said it in plenary. And you know him is a man that his words are always very funny.
Yes.
So maybe the technical crew, please, maybe you should play the video for us so that our viewer can know what we're talking about.
What as the current revelations in America, you realize that there are some black people, because of their skins, who went to prison, sometimes 37 years, sometimes 27 years, some 25 years, for false allegations. So I'm not one of those people who you will say will step down for false allegation. Then when eventually it is proven that the allegations were false, they will say, oh, we were unfair to Akpabio. No. I'm not that bad. So if you had that in mind, please cancel it. So having said that, I must thank you for the words that you have spoken today. But I also know that in the course of your speech, you did not indict, but you reported the Honorable Minister of Defense to the Senate. I think the Senate will look into that issue. If the Honorable Minister of Defense has any objection or any issue with any resolution of the Senate, he shouldn't do so in the market. He should get in touch with the Senate President or the Senate elders. Senator Ninki, I think I'm speaking your mind. He should get in touch with us, not to go and speak in the open. And it will amount to executive, legislative brouhaha. So we'll take that up at the appropriate time. So I thank all my colleagues. I thank you for the confidence, and I assure you that will continue to do our best. But most especially, the credit goes to the 10th Senate for remaining focus. Accordingly, this Senate is hereby adjourned to Tuesday, the 13th day of May 2025 at 11 a.m. prompt.
Well, using his words, I think at the beginning was speaking about allegations, and it has to do with his brouhaha with Senator Natasha. Let me use his own word, brouhaha. That is not an executive and Senate brouhaha. It's a brouhaha between the Senate President and Senator representing Kogi. So that is. He said he's not going to step down for any allegations. And before he even said, he went far to say, remember in the US that you see some people who were charged for wrongfully because of the color of their skin. Investigation was not done. They went to prison. After some years, they would come and say, oh, we are sorry. Say, Akpabio, who's not.
He's not somebody that would vacate his seat anytime.
So, what's your take on what he just said concerning the allegations? Up to now, expected by now, we should be in court and we should begin to see.
You get exactly. I was expecting to hear, Supreme Court, High Court, and the rest, but I've not really seen anything. The only she made a very sarcastic apology required of her to Akpabio, which I found very, very funny as well. So, but well. He's a man that knows where he's coming from and what he has. I like his boldness, you know.
Are you sure the ladies won't come for you now concerning Akpabio? Because there's this, I think there's this camaraderie between
for women supporting women movement. No, but he has not been proven guilty yet, so we cannot say he's guilty of what she just said. He's just allegedly that sexual harassment and all. But I like the fact that he's not timid. He's not scared. He's a lion, so he knows where he's coming from.
Okay, she said he's a lion. He knows where he's coming from. And then recently, concerning this issue of Senator Natasha, do you know a certain Dr. Duru with the name Professor Mbeke? She has been making some allegations.
Okay, yeah, she was saying she apologized for. I think was she not the one that apologized for? She was apologizing to Akpabio.
Akpabio, yes, so that she realized that the allegations. Well, she hasn't brought it to the law enforcement agencies. She has just been
on social media.
Social media. So until she brings this evidence to the law enforcement, then we know that she's serious about what she's saying. So just the major point from Senator Akpabio's statement concerning his refusal to resign, the Senate President dismissing suggestion of resignation over false allegations, and he also is committed to legislative agenda. He emphasized the Senate's focus on constitutional responsibility despite business accusations. And then the Senate is also an institution bigger than any individual will not be by negative comments. Well, I think that is what he
you know where I said that he's a strong man, so he knows where he's coming from. He's the leader, and he's the leader, and then I'm very sure he has supporters, yes, from the Senate seat. So he knows his backup. He knows his support system there, so it will be easy for Natasha to actually.
But your view generally, I'm not saying you. If you were the lady involved, how will you have handled all this?
You know, I would, the fact that she's a senator, there are rules governing the Senate House, yeah? So the way she presented her allegation, I think when she was on seat, when they told her to off the mic, the way she responded to him, and you know, women are emotional. And when we tend to present our case, we use the emotional.
But maybe the emotion is due to the fact that she felt cheated. Maybe I'm just using that word because she said it was due to harassment. Maybe that is what made her emotional. Will you still be able to think straight, to act straight with such a you were harassed? I'm saying if.
No, I won't. But I would have handled it in a subtle manner. Yes, because she was there when even she knows the rules governing the Senate, yes. So she should have at least calmed down and presented her matter in a respectful manner. So she wouldn't have been tagged, oh, she was being disrespectful, and it wouldn't be used against her. So we should have handled this. Her manner of approach in handling the situation wasn't professional. Let me use the word professional, yes.
And the allegations, don't you think she should have released the
evidence? Exactly, because I've seen cases of domestic violence and the rest, people bringing out pictures, videos, but there was nothing. It's just her saying it that she was harassed. Well, till we get to see, like the law will say you won't be prosecuted until proven guilty. So
we're looking at what it is. So just like I said, you are welcome to call into the show and let us have your views on what is going on, the issues of the election of the Pope, the insecurity generally in Nigeria. You can call and speak on any of it, and also the issue of the allegations and the statement of the Senate President on it. So I'm here with the very, very beautiful journalist, and you can also call to speak to her. Maybe you want to hear her voice. It's Friday, and it's a day. It's a
for
very
relaxation,
good Friday.
yeah.
Yes. And while we wait for a caller, we also have to let you know that one of our best here at James Atta Emmanuel is going to be celebrating his birthday.
Yeah.
So we are looking forward to go and
shutting it down.
Shut it down. So when you see us excited and happy, you know that it's a wonderful Friday for us.
Yes.
And, that's what we promote here on Some TV. Happiness, joy, a good relationship between people. And if we can continue, if Nigeria goes back to the past when there was this genuine love, this Nigeria spirit, I think it will be much better for us as people.
I remember my late uncle telling me that he remembered when he was traveling from Kaduna to the village in Osa, that he could trek in the middle of the night and nobody would even come to, try to steal from him or rob him or something like that. And I sat down and wondered, as of that time when he was telling me this story, we were having insecurity issues. Yeah. And then I wonder, how was it like so peaceful to walk in the middle of the night? There was love among people. Yeah. But now you can't even greet your neighbor without looking at him. To be security conscious about this particular neighbor.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something, especially my education. While I was young, we were living in Ilorin, and I knew the house were around somewhere they call cooperative area of Ilorin. And my school, first of all, it was at, they called the place Taiwo Road, for those that know. Then later I moved to a school at Maraba. Now, I just sit back and I realized that after my primary 2 thereabouts, especially when I changed school, my parents didn't take me to school any longer. I used to trek with my sister and some other children. From that house, we cross about 3 major roads.
Wow.
Get to school, and it was fun. It was normal. No fear of and nobody will come.
Yes.
There was no phone call. And now I begin to wonder, will I allow my kids to trek that distance, primary school? No. Because sometimes I look at it, just tell them, get something here.
You had to be.
So I begin to wonder what has happened. Then secondary school, we started. I was living in Ilorin before we moved. And from there, we'll come to Wukari, Taraba State.
Yes.
And you will see Lagos State alone in FGC Wukari had 4, used to take like 3 or 4 luxurious buses to bring students. So some people join along in Ibadan, Ogun State, and they bring them. And I look at it, if that happens now, there will be a target for criminals.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Do you know, even during the Jukun TV crisis in Wukari, we will live in the school. It is when we get home, we will hear that they said there was crisis between the TV and the Jukun. At night, as students, we break bounds. We go through the bridge. No fear of kidnapping and anything. And I pray that we go back to those good old days. Honestly,
I wish each time my dad tells me a story about his upbringing, I wish wish those peaceful era we could bring it back here for us to experience it and at least have story to tell our children also. But well,
we are the ones that will create that environment.
We are, yes.
We just have to learn to live in peace. If we decide not to hurt another man decide not to hurt another man. That is how we live. You went to ABU,
yes,
right? And during a period where there's road between Jos, Saminaka,
yes.
Was it peaceful or issues have started?
Well, there was a time I was traveling I was coming back from school to Jalingo. We had to sleep over at Gombe State. No, I think Numan, Adama State, because there was a robbery attack ahead of us. So the driver was just like, we can't move further, just stay back. I was really scared. I was like, Jesus, this is the first time I'm experiencing this. So I was like, so now I can't really travel peacefully anymore, you know.
That route used to be I remember vividly. There are some days when I was in Zaria, there are days whereby you wouldn't get the money you need to travel.
Yes.
Because you have to call through this landline, you queue, you buy a card. Then when the money comes, we used to have STB then. It was the only bank that does instant transfer. Every other bank takes 3, 4, 1 week. So STB was popular. That Standard Trust Bank later became UBA. It was very popular with the students. So there are periods whereby the money don't come early. I call my dad in the office, they send the money through STB. I receive the money around 12, 1 o'clock, and I want to leave. Do you know that you take a bus from Zaria to Jos?
See?
Within that, Soba, Saminaka, Wase, Pambegwa, and without fear of any attack. No, and you get to Jos, you want to come back, and you take evening bus from Jos down to Numan or Jalingo without any fear. You get that roadblock, and in the middle of the night, you get Achaba or bike.
Yes,
you go home, and there's nothing. Nowadays, I read the news, and I hear the names of places that used to be fun. And now where bandits have turned upside down.
Even with coupled with the bad roads also.
With the bad roads and everything. Well, that is where we are. So before we go, what's your final words for Nigerians generally, especially concerning peace?
I will always preach unity. I'll always preach love, regardless of religious diversity, ideologies, backgrounds, or beliefs. One thing is paramount, which is love. We can't really move forward as a nation if we don't love ourselves. And love comes together, brings unity, it brings cooperation. And if there's love in a country, there's unity in a country, progress. You know, a country will tend to grow, and there will be a lot of development that would come in. So every religion preaches love. So love is the paramount in the biggest and the most important ingredient in to have a developed country. So that's my take. Love.
Yes, you're very lovely lady, Mercy Joro. You know, when someone preaches love and you see how lovely she is, it will be much easier, unlike my own face that looks very hard. I think the message of love will come easier from her. So, viewers, that is all we're going to take on Anger with Journalists. And Anger with Journalists is where the facts are fresh, like I always say, the debates are first, questions come hotter than Yoruba
jollof rice.
I think I just already know what I'm going to use it for some of my
and you
Yoruba
go to restaurant and order for Yoruba jollof rice.
Yoruba. So the Yoruba wedding standard. That is what I order for. And just like we say, as veteran journalist Dele Giwa, I once said, truth is like fire. No matter how much you try to quench it, it will always rise. And today, where we found those flames of truth, and we found the flames of truth. I will pray that these flames of truth continue to burn until truth leads to justice, peace, and development in Nigeria. My name is Abraham Manajoda, and that is Anger with Journalists on Some TV. See you again next time.